And we are back. G McElwainey coming at you with another edition of the Outlaw Blitz podcast. Big fella, let's get dangerous.
Not today, pal. Oh, wait, wrong show.
Yeah. I wish we had the funding behind Not Today, pal.
Yeah, no shit.
And the producers. And, it's two guys in a room. They got four
producers.
People don't understand that. Like, to put out a show like we do with the limited, equipment we have, it's just two of us in a room.
The skeleton crew.
Yeah. It'd be nice. And I think in the new year we will have some of that.
Good.
It'll help. We'll see. We'll see.
Absolutely. How's your week?
Well, we can get into that in a second, but before that, for 2024, if you want to come on board and be one of our sponsors, we put out the graphics.
Right.
We're getting over 30,000 people to our content weekly. Total people to all of our content that's under 24 cross media. Yeah, it's the Outlaw Blitz. And yeah, it's TCB with HW3. So we put it all under 24 cross. That's our whole thing. But we're getting over 30,000 eyes to our stuff weekly because the video has stuff, the audio has stuff.
Social
media has stuff. Like our clips have stuff. So, it's 30,000 people. It's still a lot. It's in a lot of countries. So we're looking to offset some of our cost here because we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And the prophecy was we're either going to make it or it's going to be it at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Well, here we are at the end of the year. We've made it, but we still need, we're going to need help. So we're going to have to get a Patreon going. That's going to start in January for sure.
And
but we need some sponsors to start kicking in.
Right. And I think I know with Apple Podcasts, we can make it a pay thing, but we're only looking at like $1 a month. It's not something that we're looking to break people's banks because
we're a couple bucks maybe. That's it.
Make a donation really is what it is.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the first thing you're going to see is we're going to go away from the video, and I think that's going to be the Patreon part. You pay, you get the video, you'll get it the day of, and that'll be the advantage because. Unless we start getting some ads to bring in for the video.
See, and that would be great. Then it's like, post production, we got to splice the ads in, but
I'm not even
before or after. But you're going to get ad time, and it's going to go to 30,000 plus, and hopefully, your sponsorship dollars will draw more eyes to the product because that's what it's meant for.
Well, and that's when I wrote it up. People, and then I had a few questions about it, like. Well, how many times will you say the ad? Listen, I can't give you a direct breakdown of that because the idea is you could sponsor a segment that's only once a month.
Right.
Okay, that segment's going to be once a month. You're getting 12 of them, and it costs you, $80 a segment. So for the year, it's $960 or whatever.
Right.
But you're getting 12 things that are the Steel Cage Showdown that we do 12 times a year is sponsored by whatever, Scalable Computer, whoever.
Right.
You could be the main title sponsor, which is going to be deeply discounted comparatively if you did it weekly or monthly.
Correct.
Which is we're putting out pretty much around 48 episodes a year.
Yep.
And then on top of it, we do interviews in between. So if this is the 24 Cross Studio sponsored by Sawyer Motors, say, you're going to have your logo on everything we do. So instead of our logo up in the top where it says Outlaw Blitz, it'll say Sawyer Motors.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the sponsor of the show. So that's what we're looking for. And on top of it, it's not just that. Products. If you got products you want, T-shirt people, all these things are all part of it.
And like you said, with it being 24 cross media, you're not just buying airtime on potentially just one show. You have it on 2 shows.
Right. You have it on multiple more because like Outlaws Edge, you have In the Huddle.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, you also think about it when just what you're on. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You go through all these things that you're on every platform that we're on.
Right.
iHeartRadio,
Stitcher, TuneIn,
Amazon Music. We could list everywhere we are that your ad is going to be heard.
Right.
So it's just to a point like now that your schedule is going to allow us to set a certain day. We are recording on this day, period.
Yep.
it's gonna enable us to do a lot more things.
Absolutely.
And honestly, it's come to the point where we can't just keep footing with nothing behind us.
Yeah.
And we're pushing. Here we are. We're 170 episodes in. We've produced over 200 in just with the Outlaw Blitz with interviews.
Yeah.
You got a weekly show.
Yep.
We have a weekly gambling show, which I can't even get to right now based on work schedule. But these are things that if we're going to do it, it's got to be done right and it's got to be treated the right way.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like I'm in a set. That's going to be my other job. And we're going to bring other people in, which I'm excited for.
Absolutely.
But, it's Rome wasn't built in a day. And too many people are like, well, I'm not getting rich this second. So.
And that's what it is.
It's the moment, it's the fat of the week.
You got to be in it for the long haul. It's a slow burn. We knew going in that most podcasts don't become profitable until year 3, year 4.
Which we're right getting in there now.
We're getting there now, which is when it's like really been an established product. So,
well, dude, people think Joe Rogan made $100 million. Look at me, bro. That's he had an audience,
right?
We're beating people that are on major networks that are traveling comedians.
We're nobodies,
and we're nobodies. But I'm saying it took him 15 years to get where he is.
Correct.
You didn't know what the fuck he was doing 15 years ago.
Right.
You just know, like, holy shit, he's everywhere in the last 5 years and you're making a lot of money. That's what you know.
Exactly.
You don't know all the fucking times he sat in his basement and didn't have a single ad coming in.
Exactly.
Yep. So, that's just where we're at. So if anybody wants to sponsor us or, advertise with us, it should be the way. It should be really kind of set up. If you want to advertise with us.
Sponsor, you're getting something for your dollar.
Well, I mean, yeah, but even sponsoring the show, you're getting something
absolutely.
back. You know what I mean? So yeah, we are flexible to, even if it's a show like, hey, we're having veterans on and you are the VFW and you want to sponsor that show, we can schedule that stuff out.
Yep.
So that's all I really had before that stuff. The week's been a decent week. You know what I mean? I felt like shit there. You did, and then I did.
Yeah. You said I get it. You get run down quick.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's just, listen, go home, sleep it off.
No, fuck that. It was Bromero. Yo, come hang out in here. I'm like, bro, I don't know, man. All these dudes are sick. Then boom. Next day, we're all laying there in the heaps.
A lot of sick dudes at work.
Just laying there in the heaps with jackets on, like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then, I went home, bundled up, sweated out again. Kind of feeling all right. You can hear it in my voice now. It's not great.
Yeah, my other partner, General, he was down for the count for 3 or 4 days last week into the weekend, too. And he was still feeling like shit yesterday. So, yeah, it's going around. And where we work, once something gets in there, it doesn't get out.
No, it does not. It definitely does not. Something came up today, and I'm like, I'm going to talk about this. And then I was like, I'll talk about it on the podcast.
Okay.
What percentage of human optimization do you think we are? Like, I don't know if I worded that right or I confused you with that. What I'm saying is at what percent do you think humans of their total capabilities,
less
do you
than
think
10%?
Easily less than 10%?
Easily less than 10%.
And then the reason I ask this is because you ever notice when you ask somebody to do something, they're like, well, I'm not doing that. They have the full capability of doing it, but they just refuse. They don't want to.
Right.
There's something so simple,
yep,
but it takes forever to do. Can you imagine what efficient humans would accomplish?
Yeah, and I say that just because they say the average percentage of your brain that's used is about 10%.
Well, I understand that.
If you could unlock more of that, what else would a person be capable of? What else would that trigger emotion-wise?
Well, that's
ability-wise.
I think it would make you crazy. Because you could probably hear a fly, but in your brain you learn to block it out. And then you're hearing that. You couldn't undo it.
What was that movie, Lucy? Was that the movie with Scarlett Johansson where they unlocked her brain?
And was that the one where she went back all the way to the beginning of time?
Maybe, but she could hear anything and everywhere, and it was driving her crazy.
Yeah, like Limitless, where they just open your... And I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying as How many times have you gone and people are just fucking like you're like, how did you get this job?
Yeah, a
You know what
lot.
I'm saying? And it's if you just did your fucking job, things would move so much more efficiently
Yeah,
as opposed to, you pawn it off on everybody else.
you're a fucking broken cog in the wheel.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Like nothing just goes smooth.
yeah,
You're just trying to pay for gas, and it takes you fucking 20 minutes because the person behind the counter is just a space
right.
marine or whatever.
That's why we should all walk around with shoelaces.
Yeah, so you can take
Start
somebody
taking
down.
motherfuckers down, boy.
How was
So,
your week otherwise?
uh, uneventful. Um,
That's a nice hat.
Thank you.
The Hurricanes.
This came with the same day the Aggie hat came in. I love
Yep.
the logo. I think I've never seen this version of the Hurricane logo.
That I think that's like a 90s.
Yeah, it's a retro one.
90s. Either late 80s or early 90s.
Yeah. What do you think of the Heisman voting?
I did not agree with it, and I'll tell you why. You take a team that's barely in the top 20. I don't care about the gaudy stats, right?
Right.
Like Bo Nix had better stats than Penix. Penix wins the Pac-12 and beats Bo Nix twice. How is he not your Heisman winner? Here's a kid that was averaging 338 yards
Right.
a game, and then down the stretch, games got tighter and it went to like 289.
Yeah.
They won.
Right.
Fucking LSU had 3 losses. And if you're saying, well, it's not all on the quarterback. Okay, well, it's not all on the quarterback when they're undefeated either.
Right.
Get
He's
the
a
fuck
fifth-year
out of here.
senior. Didn't Penix go through a stretch when he was during the season where he became turnover prone for a few games?
Not real. No, that
He
he
got a little
had
pick
him.
happy.
Yeah, I don't know that he was pick happy more than like 2 in a game, but
Yeah.
the bottom line is they won.
Yeah.
They're in the playoff.
Right.
So here's how it is. LSU's not in the playoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Neither is fucking Oregon. Neither is Ohio State. The undefeated quarterback that's in the playoff and the champion of the Pac-12 doesn't win the Heisman.
That's like giving the MVP to a guy on a losing team.
I'm just saying, like,
yeah. I mean,
I get it. I get it when you want these stats and the best player in college football. Well, guess what? He won the Maxwell Award. Penix did.
right.
Which is the best player in college football. Heisman is just the more celebrated one.
Correct.
But it's and I didn't know this. Only one time in the 90s did the Maxwell Award winner not win the Heisman, and it was the 30 for 30 on the 1997 Heisman race where Charles Woodson won it over Peyton Manning.
Okay.
And they went bananas. Tennessee went bananas because they said ESPN. If you watch the 30 for 30, they say ESPN completely fucked Peyton Manning, and they put all their weight behind Woodson. He only had 7 touchdowns.
Who?
Woodson.
Yeah.
But he had like a couple on, like 5 on defense, 2 on offense, and a punt return.
He was amazing.
I'm not saying he wasn't amazing. I'm just saying he had 7 touchdowns total.
Right.
But they're like, well, he had someone. But you've seen this.
It's very rare.
ESPN created Jadeveon Clowney also.
Absolutely. That one play.
One play created. But my point being is that was the big thing. ESPN pushed and they kind of shooed Tennessee, like Peyton Manning,
Right.
and they pushed, kind of made a campaign for Michigan's
Gotcha.
player.
Yeah. Well, it's the power of the media. It's suggestive marketing.
Yeah.
Let's show you a lot of this guy, so he's the one that's prevalent in your mind.
Like the year Jeter should have probably been the MVP of the AL, and they gave it to Joe Mauer.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me? He batted like 370, and you give it to Joe Mauer, who doesn't even make the playoffs. I don't understand that.
Yeah, it used to happen. It used to happen all the time. I mean, there's some years you just can't avoid it, like Ohtani.
Yeah,
it's tough because he's a unicorn. It doesn't come along.
Yeah,
but he used to be like the biggest power hitter with the most home runs. Would always win the MVP.
Or you had to at least have average back in the day.
Yeah.
It's not like you batted 220.
You got 220 with 50 homers, and that's good enough, and it's crazy.
So I didn't agree. I didn't listen. I get it that how it happened. I didn't agree that Penix didn't get it. Like, I'm like, how the fuck does the guy who's in the playoff,
Right.
undefeated,
I know.
beat another Heisman Trophy winner twice with game-winning drives, no less.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get it?
I know.
Like, think about that.
It's what the media wants.
And then, have you ever watched the 30 for 30
I
or
haven't,
97
but now I'm
Heisman?
going to have to.
Yeah, it's Ryan Leaf,
Oh, God.
Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson,
Right.
and Randy Moss.
Holy crap.
3 out of the 4 were Hall of Famers.
Right.
And Leaf, I like Leaf now, but
I do too.
at the
He's a
time,
reclamation guy now.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you, damn, I just blanked. Where was I going with that? With, staying on the college quarterback front, Grace McCall entered the portal.
Yeah.
That's a fifth-year senior. And Vegas put the odds up of where he's going to end up. And the leader is NC State.
I'm sure. Just a bigger college,
Right.
more.
Ohio State was only a 7-1.
Did you see that the kid from Duke transferred to Notre Dame?
Yeah.
That's a big get. I told Blummy that today. I'm like, dude, that's a big get.
Well, it's funny. Duke is actually a 7-1 on the Grayson McCall transfer thing too.
It's
2-3.
Listen, the
was
Sun Belt Conference or whatever.
Sun Belt.
Yeah. Listen, it's a good conference, but it's not.
It's not the conference.
It's not ACC or the
Right.
Big Ten
Right.
or, you know what I mean.
If he really wants to up, we'll probably at this point get draft stock.
Yeah.
You've got to go to a better conference.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's got to put to rest questions about arm strength and yada yada yada. I mean, we're in a great offense. He was very efficient. Now you got to do it on the bigger stage to show you belong at the next level. Did
I tell you what Matt Rule said about getting a quarterback?
No,
I didn't tell you. We didn't have this conversation.
No.
So Matt Rule, who he's a coach at Nebraska now,
right?
But he was a coach in the NFL in Carolina.
Yeah.
And he came from Baylor. He went from Baylor. He was a hot shot coach to bring in the NFL. He was there a year or two. Goes back. He's in Nebraska. Then he says, to land a quarterback in today's NIL deal, it takes $1.5, $2 million to get a quarterback to come to your portal. And he goes, just to make that make sense to you, Brock Purdy makes $830,000.
That's insane.
So you tell me college football isn't big money.
Yeah. Listen, it has to be, because what's Nick Saban getting paid?
Well, I get it. But here's the thing. There's only one thing that outshines college football, and that's the NFL.
Yeah.
In viewership.
And that's purely dollar signs and advertising.
I'm just saying, though, like, I guarantee you could probably take the NBA and MLB and it doesn't equal college football.
That'd be a good comparison. Yeah. MLB, to me, the season's too long.
Way too long.
And the NBA, I just don't think people dig the current style of the game.
Right. It's just...
Listen, the NBA clearly knows there's an issue with the product when they're throwing
an in-game, in-season tournament.
Right.
With the floors all painted a certain way. I don't understand what all that was.
It's the in-season tournament. They're clearly, they know there's an issue with the
and then
product.
every player got $500,000 or something.
It's
I don't know anything.
A lot of it's marketing. They're trying to sell those City Connect uniforms, all the alternate jerseys that they wear during that tournament. But they know
the floors look like shit.
They're weird.
Yeah,
they made the whole thing weird.
While we're speaking of that, have you happened to see? And this is my pet peeve of the week.
Okay.
Have you happened to see the new gym in Saugerties High School?
I have not.
It is the most, to me, romper room, goofy, fucking travesty you could come up with. Remember how we used to have all the bleachers now are no longer wood, they're blue. But they're not navy blue. They're like royal blue. Maybe between a royal and a navy. They're not like a true navy.
They paint the seat
they're not like this navy. No, they got them like composite navy ones.
Oh, they actually took the wooden ones completely out.
But remember, and you would know when you would do stats for basketball and the scoreboard was there, you had that nice raised up table right between the bleachers.
Absolutely.
Well, they got the bleachers too big. The table's gone now.
That's great.
So now the table's on the floor.
That makes no sense.
And so you would go the hardwood floor. Then it would come up to our pads that are royal blue and say Sawyer's on instead of navy.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Remember then it had the nice wood and then it went up to like the light, the not light, but like the glass that you could made our
It's
gym
like-
lighter.
Yeah.
Well, now all of that is painted blue. All the wood is now painted blue. It is the most ugly romper room looking garbage I've seen. I tried to watch the wrestling match the other night on it. It is.
It sounds like it give you a headache.
It's disgusting though. Like when you're in it, you're just like, oh my god.
You've got to feel boxed in now because the gym felt airy with those.
And the wood looked nice. It looked like
it was
you know what I mean.
Plastic wood.
It was like classic. Now they painted all that. It's all blue, and it's not even like a good blue.
It is sorted blue.
It is not good.
That's terrible.
It's brutal. All right, let's work into our top 5. This week's top 5. The top 5 athletes you lost respect for.
Yep.
Pretty straightforward. There could be a long line here. I'll start.
Okay.
Number 5, Brett Favre.
Okay.
It started with a dick pic. Remember, to an underage girl at the Jets.
Yeah.
And then, like, just things started coming out about the guy, like where he wasn't necessarily a good teammate. It's not my job to get him ready. It's my job to play the game.
Right.
Yeah, but when you're moving on and you're the older statesman, you want to get your guy ready to go. Like, I have a lot more respect for Aaron Rodgers now, how he kind of stays around and tries to help and get people ready. And then you have this alleged, so don't come sue us because he's suing everybody, this fuckface. Misuse of welfare funds in Mississippi, where he went and paid. He got paid to go speak, and the governor or whoever, somebody paid him money that were supposed to be for welfare funds.
That's ridiculous.
And it's alleged.
You need the money.
Yeah, and he went after Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee told him, "Hey, Mr. Like, he basically fuck you."
Yeah.
And I think he used those exact terms.
And they'll fuck him up too.
He says, "I'm pretty sure I used the word allegedly 97 times we counted.
Right.
Allegedly." And it is allegedly, I get it. But at the same time, why is it sticking to you?
Right.
There's probably a text somewhere. Fuck them kids. Make sure I'm paid.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Allegedly.
Yeah. My number 5, O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, he's not on my list.
It goes beyond the whole.
Everybody loved the juice at the time.
Everybody loved the juice. He was hot. He was Naked Gun. He was Hurts. He was.
He got passed over for the Terminator because they thought he wasn't violent enough.
Yeah, think about that.
Yeah.
So, but to me, it really
whether he did it or not,
it goes beyond the murder thing.
Yeah.
He got cleared. He got sued civilly and lost. It's everything he's done in the last 10 years. Tax evasion, getting fucking arrested. He's been in prison twice. He puts out a book called "If I Did It."
That is, like, that's where you lose respect.
You are a fucking moron.
And I hate saying this because it's like condoning robbery. I would have went and stole my Heisman back myself. You know what I mean? Like, if that was my Heisman, fuck you.
Yeah.
Why should anybody be able to take that part? You know what I mean?
Well, that's two then. They took his Heisman, took Reggie Bush's.
Reggie Bush's should be given back. You got NIL deals now. There's no reason.
Absolutely.
Didn't make him play any better. All right, my number 4, Roberto Alomar.
The spitting?
Well, the spitting is what really made me lose my respect for him. You're a piece of shit. Like, you're a Hall of Famer, and you didn't get a call you liked, and you're a baby, and you spit in the umpire's face, literally spit in the umpire's face. And then he's been kicked out of baseball for pretty much grooming and having sexual misconduct with an underage girl.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I looked it up, I'm like, is he a Hall of Famer? It's like, why was Roberto Alomar thrown out of baseball? And then it says, but the spitting alone is what I always remembered. You piece of shit. You don't like to call, you argue, whatever, but to sit there and spit in the umpire's face, go fuck yourself. Sit down. You're not, you know what I mean? He's an asshole, and he was a great player.
Yeah. Number 4 for me, James Harden. Fucking crybaby bitch. But I ought to put Adam Silver in there too, and the NBA ownership, because you don't like your team, so I'm going to cry and not play until I get traded. And he's done it 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, you sign the deal, you play your contract out, and then, or ask for a fucking trade, but just don't take your ball and go home. It's such a bitch move.
And he does it consistently.
Over and over.
But here, you know,
he did it in Oklahoma City. He did it in Houston.
The owners are to blame, though.
In Philadelphia.
But you know what I mean? The owners are to blame because then when you do not condone that behavior and nobody agrees to it, then you're blackballing him.
Right.
Not just him, them, whoever it is.
Right.
That's what they say. Oh, I'm blackballed. I can't get in here. Bullshit. You're an asshole. And the owners finally said, nah, no one's touching you.
You signed a contract.
Right.
You are now in violation of your contract. So we're going to fine you every day that you don't show up. And I'm not trading you.
Right.
I'll eat that. It's bullshit.
Yep. Number 3, Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's what sparked this whole thing.
Yeah. I didn't know what it was.
Is he on your list?
He's not.
Okay. So this spoiled little cocksucker who's been babied by the NFL since he's come in.
Yeah.
He threw a fucking tantrum on a penalty. Well, it wasn't part of the play. It's still a fucking penalty.
Right.
The flag was thrown before you threw the ball.
Right.
The referee had to look around your guy to see if he was on sides and threw the flag immediately.
Right.
And then you act like a complete fucking toddler who's having a meltdown in Target because he didn't get a toy on the sideline trying to get to the referee. What were you going to go do? Beat him up? Beat him up because your fucking guy lined up off sides? And then when the other quarterback meets you in the middle of the field to shake your hands,
bitching.
You said, yo, it's a fucking bullshit call. You just shit on everything that guy did.
Right.
Yo, grow the fuck up.
Right.
And the bottom line is, this dude's never played a road playoff game.
Did Kadarius Toney?
You know that?
He's
never played a road playoff game.
They've been home favorites.
Think about that.
Did Kadarius Toney go to medium fry after the game?
No, but Andy Reid did, and
right.
Like Andy Reid, you want to say it as a coach, hey, this is bullshit, usually giving leeway, but you don't act like that on the sideline where people had to restrain you from going to the referee.
It's a joke.
And my first bit of this, and I think I told you this, when I went to see my daughter in England, I watched Quarterback on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I said I never cared for his wife and his brother the way they acted. And after I watched that episode, like the first 3 episodes, I'm like, I like Mahomes. Like I get it. Like I get it. And then there was part, and I can't tell you where in that thing, where I'm like, he's one of them. He's just like them. He's just like them, but he knows how to like turn it on for the cat or turn it off.
Turn on, turn it off. Yes.
Right. He's just like them. Like I figured out
the real Patrick Mahomes.
The real, like when you see people and it's your job to read body language for a living. And I watched that and I'm like, man, I told you, I said, I don't like this dude. He's just like his wife and his brother.
Yeah, he is. It's
and then this showed. I think this was showing you what he really
Patrick
is.
Mahomes came out.
Yeah. Yep.
I agree. Number 3, Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Another funny asshole.
Yep.
And it goes beyond the NFL. It goes to when he got arrested with that camera footage.
Right.
It goes to what he did here in New York last year.
Yeah.
When he buys an arena team, gets tickets sold on the false pretense that he is going to play in the game and no shows it. Goes out to the media, says he's signing Cam Newton for a game. Never happens. And gets the team thrown out of the league.
Well, or what he also did is he brought him somewhere and then left him.
Right.
Left the team.
Oh, he did. Left the team right there.
Left the team right there and took off. No transportation back.
Right.
Like, who the fuck does
You're
that?
an idiot. Complete moron.
But
he wasn't going to...
Thank Vontez Burfict for that, though.
Yeah, the same guy that wasn't going to play because the NFL wouldn't let him use a helmet that was no longer safe for a play.
Yeah. And then takes his uniform off and runs off the field.
Right. Complete dick.
Asshole move.
Yep.
All right, number 2, Ronda Rousey. She was the it girl of the time.
Yeah.
Everybody, she was the one that made Dana White say, no, I'm going to have women fight in the UFC. He wasn't going to do it. She was on all these commercials. She was in the Entourage movie. She was everything you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Ran her mouth. She was on Beatable. She was on Jimmy Kimmel. She was on Jimmy Fallon. She had everybody kissing the ring. And I was never a fan of her.
You were
never a fan of her.
No.
She loses, and she shows you exactly what a piece of shit she really is.
It wasn't even, to me, the Holly Holm fight.
The Holly Holm fight. She lost.
But to me, it wasn't even that. That fight didn't bother me as much as the Nunez one.
But here's my point. You lose to Holly Holm.
Right.
Instead, Conor McGregor lost to Nate Diaz. They were the 2 superstars at the time.
Yeah.
McGregor sat there and he says, hey, listen, fair play to him. I expended my energy. He's a big fucker. I just couldn't get the job done. He got me. That's what winners do.
Right.
That's what real people do.
No excuse.
Right? She held her head. She put her hood up, hit her face, did no interviews, did nothing.
Right.
Gets granted a rematch, goes in to see Amanda Nunes, does none, zero press. Goes right back in, gets washed up, disappears again.
Washed.
But I'm saying you do no press.
Right.
You don't even stand up there and say, hey, listen, to you, like as a role model for young girls who are trying to do this, you don't stand up there and say, listen, some days it's not your day, you rebuild yourself and you come back.
Right.
It's okay.
You threw away all the good you did the 5 years or 10 years prior with judo and the Olympics, and you're starting the UFC by acting like that.
And the role model you became for all these people,
Right.
you threw it all away for selfish bullshit.
Trash.
I have no, like, once you become a sore loser like that, like when you're on top of that world, you take all the admiration. You got to take it when you lose.
Yeah. Number 2, I wanted him to be my number 1, but my number 1 did some more fucked up shit, so I couldn't do it. But number 2, LeBron James.
Okay.
King of the fucking crybaby. I don't get the call. I'm gonna trash my teammates when we lose. Like I watched the press conference of his today, going back to when he went back to Cleveland. Said in the press conference, "Oh, if I covered this guy, this other guy scored. If I covered him, the other guy scored. I can't clone myself, but obviously my teammates can't cover." Like, bro,
what are we doing here?
Yeah, complete fucking. The funniest thing I did see was he's running down court, not paying attention, and Tyson Chandler absolutely fucking blasts him.
Yeah.
And Chandler got called for
a flagrant
on it, and it probably should have been, but you would have thought he got shot. He fucking falls down. He gets up. He falls back down. He runs across the court. He lays back down. It's like, oh my god. You're not the GOAT.
Yeah.
You are not the GOAT.
The thing that made me lose respect for that guy, like I think he does certain things that are, good. Don't get me wrong. He does good and for community, whatever. The whole spectacle going to Miami, that whole thing. You can't. What do you teach
that
everybody?
That ruined basketball to me.
But not just basketball.
Super teams. It's bullshit.
You can't beat them. We're gonna join them. We're gonna all get together. And we're gonna go so we can win. How about get a couple pieces to come in where you are and win?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you were Larry Bird or Magic Johnson, or you were not the piece to be traded.
Right.
They brought pieces to you.
Right. And they stayed.
Like Dwayne Wade was Miami.
Right.
You were the piece. Michael Jordan was never the piece to be moved.
Right.
He was the rock.
He was the centerpiece. He was the man.
Right.
And
Larry Bird was the man.
And they didn't assemble a super team. They brought in role players. They made Michael Jordan. Those teams won because Michael Jordan made the players around him better. Didn't need other superstars to do it. Did he have Scotty? Sure.
Yeah.
But outside of that, there wasn't any other Hall of Famers on those teams.
Yeah.
So
I agree. All right, and my number 1, hands down, easily for me, and you might be surprised by this, Lawrence Taylor.
Really?
He was revered. He's revered here in New York. People love him. There's so much admiration for Lawrence Taylor.
And
he's a gigantic scumbag.
And
because the way people still talk about him today, they don't talk that he failed to register as a sex offender. They don't the tax evasion. They don't talk about the crackhead. They don't talk about the DUI arrest. He's a bad human that could fucking play football. And people talk about him in this state and especially this area like he was fucking, the Pope who just sacked people on Sunday.
Yeah.
He went and gave a sermon and then went out and fucked people up. No.
That was Reggie White.
He was an extremely bad human.
You can't argue that.
And it's not and that's I just have no respect. Like you're a Hall of Famer. You had your issues, whatever the deal was. I get it.
Listen.
But then
Right.
Well,
the fact that Lawrence Taylor was complete piece of shit.
Go on the fridge.
Later, after his career, while he was in college, knocked up a third. Also, kids, and didn't he, of them now, but
It was cute. Okay.
The judge said you're blatant. So, and, you know, let's just.
All these people, and it's got to blow your ear.
Weird video with Ric Flair this week
where he talked shit to somebody and then the guy tackled him.
He punched the guy, and then the guy tackled him. It was somebody from UFC.
Oh, it was Michael Chandler.
Right.
He's like, Rick, I don't want to get into this. You and your $1 million. He goes, you are the guy, whatever. And he kind of gave him a short hook.
But Flair is like put it on his own social media. So was it a work?
Maybe it was a work. I don't know. But like Chandler would have fucked him up.
Oh,
like
Chandler didn't want to touch him. He's like,
right. He's like, oh, dude,
I'll
listen, you're older. He's like, yeah.
Right.
And then Flair. But I could see Flair being a major fucking asshole.
Listen, it's one of those things where sometimes you're better off not meeting heroes because they can let you down.
Yeah.
I met him. You know, I was I'm a huge Ric Flair fan.
Yeah.
And he was a fucking asshole in person.
Yeah, that's
non-responsive dick. You know, you took my $40 and gave me your signature.
Yeah.
You couldn't say thank you.
You could say, hey, man.
Converse for 5 minutes or just say thank you for being a fan.
Right, even in the fucking interaction of coming up to the table and moving forward.
Because at the very same event, Samoa Joe had Max come around the table and sit down next to him, posed, was super awesome talking about NXT and Ring of Honor. Hey, thanks for being a fan, shook hands.
Right.
Their guys are total class acts.
Like, these are people that still pay your fucking dinner.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I've never met a comedian that, and we've talked about this before, like, I've never met a comedian that wasn't appreciative of their fans because that's directly driven.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like, you could see WWE fans and you could go, I don't know. Like, you could be a fan of Samoa Joe, and I'm wrestling on the same card. You might not be a fan of me at all.
Right.
So there's a disconnect there.
Yeah.
But when you're a comedian, if you're in this,
they're there to see you.
They're there to see you. So, and they're more appreciative. Almost every comedian has like a table out front. You can come meet them, talk to them, whatever.
Yeah. The guy we went and saw when we were in Atlantic City this year. Yes, very, very good, awesome guy. Him and his wife have a podcast. And, right after the show, like, he busted my balls.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the show. Humpty Dumpty, fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
He was funny. After the show, out in the hall, he has his table, T-shirts. Everybody that came out shook my hand. Hey, thanks for being a good sport. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Totally cool.
Listen, when you're a bigger dude and you go, you're going to get hammered.
Especially in like this setting where it was just it was tables.
Oh, yeah.
Around the stage. And there was about 35 or 40 people there. So he fucking pieced up. He pieced me up pretty good, but then he got to this other table with a girl and her mom. They were there, and he asked her if how's your head game or some shit like that? And the girl's fucking turning all shades of red. And she's like, go ahead and answer. He's like, your mother's right there. How the fuck do you think you got here? And shit like that. So, it was pretty good. But yeah, comedians are very humble. Very humble.
Yeah, and just athletes, like, that's what really. I sent this to you. You responded. I didn't have time to think about it. And on the ride up here today, I'm like, who? And I just thought, I'm like, you hear so many people talk about how great Lawrence Taylor. They miss all the shit that he's done.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we live in New York, so it's a different. Like, do you just wipe the slate clean because he's
a god here?
Oh, he was great.
Right.
Yeah, but what if that was your kid?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it's just it blows my mind.
The New York athletes that should be revered for turning their lives around, or guys like Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, who went through this shit and were at the bottom of the world and pulled themselves back up. Now Darryl's a preacher; he goes around and speaks. Doc does the same thing. Those guys really.
Or Derek Jeter, who was never in that shit.
Never in that shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the type
absolutely.
Of stuff. All right, ready to move forward?
Yeah.
All right. All right, 5 crazy questions sponsored by Scalable Computers via Winnie.
Yes, sir. Number 1, what occupation do you admire but could never do?
Probably surgeon. I don't like fucking that. I don't.
Not a blood.
No. Like, you admire them. People save lives and help people. They help people in every possible way, pain, whatever.
Right.
And it's got to be. You're in there doing everything you can to save a young person's life.
Right.
And the weight that they must carry.
Yeah.
Emotionally and mentally.
Over time, when you can't save somebody.
Yeah, it's wild. And and then on top of it, not just the emotional part, the you're just digging through somebody's
skill
shit. Yeah, the skill part. Yeah.
I would. Doctors, that's a great one. One I was thinking of was like, dudes that build skyscrapers. Like,
oh yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah.
I hate ladders. I can't imagine being 100 stories up.
Yep.
With a fucking rope and you're.
Have you seen the new ride in New York City?
No.
It's a beam, and it's got, I think, like 8 seats on it, and I would call it a ride. It's like more like a amusement, like a whatever, you would say. But you sit on it, and like say a group of us won't go down. You go up, and it recreates that famous picture.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so like you're safe, but the way that it comes up,
dude's eating lunch.
Yeah, the way it comes up, it looks like you're sitting on an ivy, but you are, but it's got like a back to it, and you're sitting on it.
You?
I would say probably like 15 feet. It brings you up, and it gives you and then they have a camera that takes that picture, and it looks like you guys are all sitting there on the thing.
Oh, 15 feet. I can handle that.
Yeah, I think it's like 50. I mean, somewhere between probably 15 and 25
That's
feet.
pretty cool.
It just goes up, and it goes up like you're facing this way.
Right.
And it goes up, and it turns you out like you're facing the city.
That's pretty cool.
And then it takes a picture.
That's cool.
So it's pretty cool.
All right. Number 2, someone is going to borrow your life for one day. What advice would you give them?
I hope you enjoy having your knees hurt. I always say it to my son, you wake up in my body for one day, you'll go back and be like, fuck.
Yeah, fuck that.
Or be ready for you. I don't care who it is. I think almost anybody, no matter who you are, I think be ready for a different opinion of me.
Yeah.
Because if they're borrowing you for a day,
they're going to walk in your shoes.
They're going to walk in your shoes. They're going to think your thoughts. They're going to feel
your emotion.
If you think I got a small wiener, you're gonna. That's accurate. But.
Right. You're going to be let down.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. If you could have an extra door in your house that opened to anywhere, where would it lead?
Anywhere, like anywhere.
Yep.
Currently, probably I would open the door and I'd be in my daughter's house
That's what I figured.
in England. Yeah. I mean, it's just easy. That would probably be the easiest one because, like, the other one I could drive to in a couple hours.
Yeah.
That one is, I would just open the door and I'd be in their kitchen.
Yep.
Hey, what are we having for dinner?
All right, cool. Number 4. Would you rather have X-ray vision or superhuman hearing?
Probably X-ray vision. That hearing thing we talked about earlier
It would
by
drive you
accident,
crazy.
it would drive you crazy.
Yeah.
It really would
If you could shut it off.
dude, yeah, I hear that fucking rooster outside my window every morning.
It drives you nuts.
It drives me bananas.
And you're a fucking moth piss on cotton.
Yeah.
5 blocks away.
Yeah, it would drive you nuts. It would have to.
Yeah.
Think about like a dog whistle where we can't hear it and they hear it and they're going nuts.
That's my thing is how do you know it works? I'll just watch the dog.
Yeah.
All right. And number 5. What is something that you have accomplished as an adult that your younger self would be proud of?
Patience. Like I don't have a lot, but I mean, when I was young, I had none. And self-control, like I was a wild
Absolutely,
man.
better.
I was a real wild hothead.
Yeah.
And like I think you said it to me one day, just out of the blue. You go, "Who would have thought you were the fucking calm voice of reason?"
Exactly. Yeah.
And there would have never ever been that way at a prior point in my life. Actually, I'd be proud of this.
Yeah.
Because this is all self-taught. This is, you know what I mean? I always had a knack for doing videos and this and that, but this has all been self-taught. Like, to know that you built this and you interviewed all these famous people and you, like, from nothing, just on a fucking whim, you rolled the dice and figured it out.
Yeah.
I'd be proud of this. If my younger self would be proud of this.
All right.
I'd definitely not be proud of the way I look.
All right. So there's 5 crazy for the week.
All right. Let's move on up. Over and Under, sponsored by Budget Blinds of East Greenbush via listener Mean Dean.
Okay.
The Mean Dean, or Freckles. Number 1, colored Christmas lights.
Underrated. I love them. They're my favorite.
Underrated
really like
for your house. Yeah, I'm kind of tired of the white. I mean, the white looks nice on a tree. Mine are colored, but I miss like the old 80s colored Christmas lights.
Yeah.
The big bulbs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I like colored Christmas lights. Number 2, Southern food.
Underrated.
Yeah, we don't get looking like this if
Correct.
it's not underrated.
The only
Southern biscuits and gravy.
That's what with Carly in Nashville now. She went to Old Red.
Yep.
The other night, and she went to Grand
Opry
last
Opry.
night.
Yep.
Yeah.
She must go to that mall.
I'm sure. I mean, she's got
yeah.
her nights are free, so I'm sure she'll be doing some.
And when she come back?
Saturday.
Tell her to go to Gaylord Opryland Hotel.
That's
one with the waterfall in it.
Last night. Let me see. Get a text here.
All right. Well, while you're looking for that, number 3, we both agree underrated. Southern food.
Yeah, they went to Gaylord Opryland last night.
Okay. Southern food underrated.
Oh, super underrated.
All right. Number 3, serial killer documentaries.
I guess underrated.
A good one, like the Iceman, the one that was on HBO that time. Yeah, they're underrated, dude. They're so fucking popular because they're underrated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Women love them fucking murder shows. So you talk to them or like anybody, my daughters, my sister, morbid, this one, that one. I'm like, I don't fucking know all this shit. But yeah, a good one. Right now, if you haven't seen it, go on Netflix. It's a little bit older, but it was called... Oh, fuck me. Why did I just blank on it? Mind Hunters.
Okay.
And it has like Charles Manson in it. It's how the FBI came up with the term serial killer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good show. Very a limited series, 2 seasons.
Okay.
All right, number 4, Small Dogs.
Come on now.
Over fucking rated.
You know
Overrated.
You
and your little foo-foo dog.
That's right.
I would normally say overrated. Cat has a little fucking... He wears a sweatsuit, looks like Rocky Balboa. He's cool, but he's a pain in the ass too. You know what I don't like about little dogs? They always got this fucking temperament that they got to bark at everything.
Yeah, that's
It's
for
like,
damn
just
sure.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, take the voice box out.
Yeah, because they're always like, "Meow, meow, meow." It's like, shut up.
Yeah, if they can get to the window, it's a fucking wrap.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I
So.
mean? Like one German Shepherd will just fucking, you're done.
Yep.
And they need to have it happen. Like little dogs need to be humbled.
A little bit, yeah.
You know
And
what
the
I
other
mean?
thing is, they fucking always need help getting up
Yeah,
out of the bed.
can't get on the bed. Can't
Right.
do that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that would drive me nuts.
Oh yeah, like she'll drive me nuts sometimes at night, where she'll get down fucking 5 times, and then you gotta pick her back up so she can come back up and go to sleep. Yeah.
Small dogs, over fucking rated. All right, and number 5, early Christmas shopping. Like, not like the season. Like if you're buying in September or over the summer.
Overrated.
Overrated.
Yeah.
Like, keep a season in a season.
That's cheating.
You know what I mean? Keep a season in a season. Unless it's like something amazing, like, hey, Three Doors Down's in concert the day after Christmas, but you can buy the tickets in August.
Right.
I get that makes more sense, but yeah, and anything early.
Unless it's like something that is so specific that you know the person is asking for, and you can get a really good deal on it.
Right.
That might be the exception, but yeah, no, keep it in the season. You're right.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. Anything else? Any other off? I did have one from Purple Rain 81.
Okay.
It was rotisserie chicken sandwiches.
Oh, way underrated.
Under fucking rated, because that's like so juicy, the fucking chicken on them.
Hell yeah.
Some places are way better than others. Hannaford has good ones.
Yep.
Sam's Club has good
Sam's
ones. Price Chopper, you have to get it right when it comes out.
Yeah.
Like I've had them where they've been super moist, and then I've had it where they're like fucking dry as
Sawdust.
shit. Yeah. And that's terrible.
Yep.
But yeah, like a good rotisserie, oh my God, underrated is all underrated can be.
Definitely.
All right, buddy. I like this too.
That's cool.
This week's rabbit hole, what do you got?
All right, so I don't know the usernames or anything, but got into it on YouTube. 2 different things: draft classes from the NBA and from the NFL.
Yep.
They're breaking them down, like the top 10 picks. Where are they now? Or like the entire first,
or regrading them.
Yeah, the entire first round. How did it spin out? Like some there was an NFL one that was just god awful, where the number 1 pick was an offensive lineman. There were no skill position players taken in like the first 12 picks. It was like a really weird draft. Yeah. NBA's had a lot of like feast or famine shit. Got one that had 8 Hall of Famers, one that had like only 2 guys ever made an all-star team.
Right.
So yeah, the where are they now stuff. I saw a really cool special on, remember Big Country, Bryant Reeves?
Yep.
About his career and how that's one where people were like he's overrated. You drafted a slow white kid that had good touch around the basket and a bad back.
Right.
You kind of knew what you were getting.
You got exactly what you got.
Right, and he was a good player until he got hurt. But it was more about what he's doing now and stuff.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Well, that's like a lot of people shit on Christian Laettner. Christian Laettner was a decent pro.
Absolutely.
He wasn't a bad pro.
No, he was like a 15-8 guy.
It's a good pro. He wasn't a great pro.
Right.
He wasn't an all-time pro, but he was a good, solid pro.
You know, they always knock who got drafted ahead of Jordan.
Right.
Olajuwon was 1, an all-time great.
All-time great.
So, and number 2 was Sam Bowie, who Portland had drafted Drexler the year before, so they didn't need a guard. They needed a big man. Didn't turn out. Some guys do, some guys don't.
Yeah, but you weren't drafting Jordan as go play along Clyde.
Right. It didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense.
No.
So, you can't fault them on that.
Right.
You know, you can fault 7 rounds of not picking Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
Kobe fell, I think he was number 16.
Right.
When he got drafted.
But he was a high school kid.
Yeah.
He was a high school kid, yeah.
Yep.
I remember, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I remember watching Sebastian Telfair.
That was my dude.
Yeah, and he just never really panned out.
He'd have a shot. He was not a good shooter.
Do you remember back in the day there was a documentary about Earl Manigault,
Yeah, the GOAT.
the GOAT, and they would talk about like how good this dude would have been if he
Yeah.
didn't get so fucked up.
Yeah, he
And
could.
it's starting to make me wonder if Dior Johnson's the next version of that.
Guys would climb onto the rim and they would set a quarter on the top of the backboard, and he could, and Manigault could jump and get the quarter.
Yeah,
that's
wild shit.
Yeah,
and at the end, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar says
he's the best ever saw.
Best guy I've ever played against.
Yep.
Was Earl Manigault. It had nobody in the NBA could play as good as that guy.
Yep.
But he was just a fucking
drugs
train wreck, man.
Drugs get to you.
Yeah.
There was another one. Fly Williams was in the same time as Manigault. Ended up had a really short career in the ABA and the NBA.
Yep.
And then was doing really good things in the community and got caught up and is now in prison for like embezzlement or something. No. He got caught up in he was running a prostitution ring in Brooklyn.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
Some weird shit. But
come to the rub and tug.
Yeah, for real.
Did you watch any like industry things this week in Rabbit Hole?
Industry, not really industry, but there was one that I got into. It's a young kid, like probably 10 or 11 years old, whose father, I think they own a junkyard, and my dad said, go out and pick a car and get it running. The kid's a talented mechanic.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this kid.
And he picked out, it was an old Ford Ranchero.
Yep.
That he goes out and he's first he puts the battery up, hooks the battery onto it, see if he can get it to turn over. He does, and now the thing's fully restored. That he did all the work himself, him and his dad.
Right, his dad told him, go pick any car, get it running, and we'll redo it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that kid, yeah.
They're cool.
Yeah. This week I watched a lot of drain cleaning, like
really?
Cleaning drains. Like, have you ever seen how they clean culvert pipes?
Yes.
Where they drag the tire through it, and it pulls out like a fucking.
It looks like a giant dinosaur turd,
like 34 feet of fucking turd
straight
mud.
sludge.
Yeah. But just different things like I don't know why drains and parking lots that are backed up where people go and clear the leaves away, and then all of a sudden the whole fucking parking lot empties out. Yeah. Tommy DeSico must have paved that one. I watched a lot of that. The one is, have you seen this Spanish barber that basically beats the shit out of people?
Yes.
He smacks the shit out of them, but he does he puts the road mic on him.
Right.
And then he
all for
everything.
ASMR.
Yeah, it's complete ASMR. Yep. That must be a $600 barber bill, and he must be there for 8 hours because the amount of shit he's doing.
I'm like, yo, he's gonna fucking flick the ears off this guy's head. And then he shaves the
soap, shampoo. He does the beard.
Shaves the cheese over their head.
Yeah,
it's the soap.
And then he's got this thing that like climbs their face.
Yeah, it's like
all
a
the way up
operated
here.
razor.
Yeah.
And what else? The thing that kills me is when he's rinsing their hair off. Then he pops the bottle of seltzer water. Dumps like most of it, and then he takes the last sip. He is a fucking trip,
that guy. But then he puts on like the paraffin mask, the wax, the hot wax.
Yeah,
he smacked this dude in the chair this week, and the dude sat up like, "What the fuck you just do?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I saw like 2 or 3.
I watched him where he dips their hands in the paraffin too, and then he pulls it off in like one glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wild.
I got stuck on that guy for so much time, and then I don't know why, but edging fucking
the lawns.
The lawns.
Yeah, that dude's good.
They're like all the sidewalks. Oh, there wasn't a sidewalk here. He edges it up, and I'm like, man, everybody's lawn should look good.
Right.
But who has the time to do that bullshit?
Oh, it's crazy because he can do them for free because you know what revenue he's bringing in off the videos.
Off the videos, yeah, 100%.
That's like Harrison Neville. I watch all the time because he's a big sneaker guy. And the funniest fucking story with him is I was picking my mother up at the airport last spring, and I'm sitting outside. I think she flew Spirit that time, so I'm sitting outside in Newark in the Spirit thing waiting for her to come out. And who the hell is putting suitcases in a car? Harrison Neville and his buddy, the ones that do the videos all the time.
You didn't say what's up?
I did. I rolled the window. I'm like, yo, Harrison. He looks over and waves. I said, holy shit.
Right.
And then I got to watch the videos because he was in New York going to Sneaker Con.
And you were picking up from where?
I was picking Newark. He lives in Atlanta. So he flew from Atlanta to Newark. And it was
small world, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And like to pick that kid out of like,
I
was like, holy shit. But his stuff too, he he broke it down like how he affords to do a lot of these videos because he just bought a $125,000 sneaker mystery box, but the revenue he brings in on the videos and then he sells on harrisonneville.com,
Right.
90% of the shit he gets, he puts up for sale at a discounted rate on his website.
Right.
So he makes a lot of the money back on the shoe sales,
Well,
and then his YouTube algorithm is pumping.
That's
He's got 2 or 3 million subscribers.
Right. That's what we lack.
Right.
We lack the social media side of it where you're putting this out to a certain thing. But here's the thing. Those guys all have products.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we had a product that followed this, like our shirts, our clothing, like if we had that followed it, then you can definitely, then you have more to push out.
Well, and a lot of these guys are smart too. What the heck's his name? I just had it in my head. One guy that I watched, Seth Fowler, another sneaker guy, through being able to promote on his videos, started the Apothecary sock line, which is now carried in Journeys, I think, and you can buy them from the website. He got huge with that in a year.
Right.
Now he's doing collabs with other YouTube creators and selling his sock line on their through their social medias on their websites.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. A lot. It's just people knowing how to do it. A lot. I watched. I don't know if you know this. I got the Pop Darts game.
Oh, did you get it?
I've had it.
Oh,
I had it for the football season, but they wouldn't stick to the tables we had. So I got it. This year I got to get the boards.
Yeah.
So we can have the games. But they're a lot harder to throw than people understand. It looks like you're just throwing them and they land. A lot of times they bounce off. To get them to stick is there's a certain technique to it. So I watch a lot of their games, a lot of that this week.
Oh, another one I'll watch is the guys that'll try the hard trick shots, like sitting across the room and throwing a game and
into the disc.
Yeah.
Which you got to think there's the kings of that are Dude Perfect,
right?
But now you have all these guys. I saw a guy with an entire box of ping pong balls, going down all these pans into a cup at the bottom of the stairs.
So you have to hit every pan all the way down.
Yeah, I can get stuck on watching them.
Me too.
For hours.
Now the coolest thing was like a male Karen getting put in his fucking place. Tristan Jazz, T-Jazz, is a basketball YouTuber, basketball player. He got his start by doing trick shots. So one of the ones he recorded was in a mall somewhere. He was on the upper level, and he would run, spin, throw the ball. It would bounce once up, and it went in. But getting it first try, it's not going to happen. So it took, 10 or 12 tries, and he finally got it. And there's this dude heckling him the whole time. You're trash, you're trash, you're trash. So after he was done, he went down to the food court, which was down below, and he's like, "What's up?" I was like, what's your issue? He's like, "Oh, well, you portray it that you do it on the first shot." I'm like, "Well, why would I throw if I'm showing a TikTok or a 2
Why am I going to show 11 losses?
Why am I going to show 11 misses? You guys want to see them make."
Right.
Well, I just think you're misrepresenting. And the guy went to shake his hand. He's like, "But I'm trash. Why do you want to shake my hand?"
Right.
So now the guy's just backpedaling.
Yeah.
He's like, "Listen, whatever. I'll shake your hand." I'm like, "But clearly there's some sort of beef here. So why don't we settle it over there and play some basketball?" He fucking destroyed the guy. Crossed him up. The guy fell down in the very first play.
Right.
7-0 shutout. People
you're
fucking with the wrong guy.
Right. Well, that's the thing is you watch these, and that's what I think it is. It's you have too many trolls in the world that aren't called out on their shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Listen, do we troll people on here? Of course we do. It's a podcast. I get it.
Right.
But I'm not going to go and just stand there. Listen, the worst guy in the NFL is way better than we ever were.
Correct.
You don't suck if you're in the NFL.
Right.
You use the term, "Oh, man, that fucking guy sucks."
Ryan Scalabrine.
You do not suck.
Who was... for years, this proves
he's the white
point.
dude, right?
Yeah, he
from
played for the Celtics. Had a 12-year career in the NBA as being the garbage guy time.
Right.
Averaged 2 or 3 points for his career. He's like, yeah, that's me. That's what I do. He goes, but I don't want to say this because I don't want to sound like a dick, but I bet you I can be Joe Random coming off the street, and this is
Right.
the guy's honest truth. He's
Yeah.
light years better
Right.
than anybody coming off the street.
Well, I always think.
Did you see the guy, Shaq, Kenny Smith, Barkley? They do the NBA thing.
Yeah.
And there's this guy that set the world's record for consecutive shots made, and they brought him in the studio, and he's looking at Kenny Smith challenged him best out of 5 from 3-point distance. And the guy is making every fucking excuse. So the ceiling was kind of low and da-da-da. 0 for 5. Kenny nailed 4 out of 5.
Right.
Shaq, who can't shoot, hit 3 out of 5.
Right.
Couldn't make a free throw, but he hit 3 threes.
Well, you know why? Because when you set that record, it's on the exact rim and your exact lighting and your exact backboard, all that.
And if you watch how he does it, he's not even looking. It's straight muscle memory. I know I release because it's set up for you.
Right.
Take it to another hoop and see what you can do.
Yeah.
And that's just it. But this guy's kind of a scam, too, because he runs a shooting school.
Well, that's the guys that can shoot 5 under par at one golf course. That doesn't mean you're a good golfer.
Right.
That means you play golf at that place.
Right. Or a guy that averages 230 in one house bowling.
Right.
And you put him out on the road and he's garbage.
Right. You got to be good everywhere.
Yep.
That's what makes them pros. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that stuff, a lot of athlete stuff. You just see it, and you start falling down these rabbit holes.
Another good rabbit hole I got into was sovereign citizens.
Oh yeah,
they're assholes.
Yeah,
and they always lose, and that's the best.
Yeah,
part. They end up getting dragged out of the car and arrested.
The problem I'm having is like if I start to watch any of that woke shit, even if they're getting, it just starts. You
get pissed off.
It just infiltrates all your shit too.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to not really get into that world again. Like next year, this time it's good. Well, it should be over by now, but it's going to be a frenzy.
Yeah.
Leading into that. But you get so tired of these people that think they know all the rules. Like, I think that's the real. I think that me personally, I think that's the real future, right?
Yeah.
The people that are tired of listening to all you fucking wine bags, like we're the ones that work that get. Our foot, there's a foot constantly on our head just pushing us underwater.
Yeah.
While you're floating in a tube going by going, you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are tired of that. You know what? The people in the water now got like a fucking ice pick and they're just popping your balloons. Like, we're tired of your woke bullshit. We're tired of all your fucking, don't park here. Don't do.
That's my spot. This is a public lot.
Right.
Get out.
I did get pissed off today though. Brand new car. 24-year-old girl full of the fucking hoochie mama attitude parks in a fucking handicap spot right in front of municipal building.
Right.
Gets out, walks in, like super entitled, and it's like you don't have the proper.
You don't have the tags.
You don't have the tags to be parking there.
Right.
Why are you parking there? Well, I don't want nobody near my car. Okay. Yeah. Maybe you want to just go out and like just fucking drive in the door of it.
Or walk down the side.
Yeah, I would never do that. I think those people are pieces of shit too.
Right.
That do it just because
you
got a nice car. The same people that park over 3 spots because they, it's in Christmas time parking lot where you can't find a spot and you're taking up 3.
And this dude's 1988 Ford Ranger is fucking parked on an extreme angle.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, so I mean that was a rabbit hole for the most part, but yeah, them fucking drains getting cleared with them tires.
It's fun.
They drag a tractor tire through there, and it's wild shit.
So
that's all I got, buddy.
All right, I got to drain myself to go unclog momentarily.
Oh boy, that's not good.
So that being said,
Highland's dotting the cotton. This will be our last show before Christmas.
Yes.
So I definitely want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. I want to thank everybody for listening to us. Actually, this is probably going to be our last show for the year.
Okay.
Because it's going to be after Christmas. No, it'll be before Christmas. But then we'll take that week after Christmas off. We'll be back in the new year. Unless something comes up like we land a major player like we did one year.
Right.
Unless something unexpectedly comes up, this will be our last show for the year. But I want to thank everybody. Our plan is to be back. Season 5. Absolutely. Our plan is to be back.
Yep.
But in case something happens where we're not, I want to thank everybody for listening to the Outlaw Blitz podcast. It's always been fun to put on the show for you guys for 4 seasons.
Hell yeah.
I've enjoyed the shit out of doing this. I've enjoyed the shit out of having people come on and getting to talk to different people,
Right.
and how we've expanded and having different ideas and the different segments that's done. But, you know, things do either come to an end or they do grow. And that's
Yep.
what I've always said. So, you know, if you want to see more of us and you want things to come really, you want to see a season 5, start filling the feedback and start filling our feeds, start filling our inboxes. We need sponsors. We need
Right.
things to come forward so that we can continue
And we're always looking
to
for good
entertain
ideas
people
too.
and good ideas. So we definitely need some backing.
Yep.
We love doing this. I love doing this.
That's awesome.
I love doing it. I can't wait until every year I let the guard down a little bit more until I'm just like really the me that just lets it fly. And I'm ready to let it fly.
Yeah.
I'm ready to let it fly. But if we do not come back, the plan is to come back. But if we do not come back, I enjoyed every minute of this.
Hell yeah.
I thank you for being the co-pilot. You know, I
Always.
wouldn't have it any other way.
Most definitely.
I missed you for a big chunk of the summer there.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, we want to be back. I want to be back, and hopefully,
Definitely.
everybody's back after the new year. But Merry Christmas! I sincerely mean it.
Yeah.
We don't do what we do for us. We do it for everybody. We love doing it, but the feedback and the conversations.
That's what makes it worthwhile and fun.
Yeah, the stripper song thing.
Yeah.
It just took on its own life.
Yeah, absolutely.
To now, people are doing certain dances for it. They're telling you.
And that's why, and that's again, that's what makes it so much fun. Is knowing other people are out there enjoying it too.
Yeah. So if you want to see us back and you want us to continue doing this, reach out to us. Like we said, we can fit any budget to our show.
And nothing is no amount too great or too small.
Right.
Everything helps.
But the first thing I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you like it in this exact setting, you prefer to get our show via video.
Yep.
We need sponsors to do the video because that's going to be the first thing to go because it costs us minimal to do the audio.
Correct.
It costs us more to do the video. So if you like us in this aspect, I don't care if you have a business, if you want to do it yourself. There's other ways. We can do one a month, however it is, but we have to cover the video cost.
Right.
So, you know, somebody with a business, you know, people that want to sponsor the show, reach out to us because in the new year, if there's not sponsors, that's the first thing that's going to be gone is the video.
Yeah.
And that'll be Patreon pay only.
Yeah.
Which, if we get enough people to pay, it would make sense to have it be live.
Yeah.
You know, so you got anything to say just in case we don't come back?
Nah, like I said, the plan is to be back. And again, like G-Mac just said, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in weekly. Thank you guys for contributing. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for being supporters. And Merry Christmas.
Yeah, definitely Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating.
Yep.
You know, we're big on it, but
Happy Festivus.
Yeah, Festivus for the rest of us.
Right.
But yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. I want to thank everybody. Look for us. It would be, let me just put a date out, just so I know. If we are back, it'll be not Wednesday the 3rd. It'll be Wednesday the 10th. That day, Wednesday, well, Thursday the 11th would be our comeback.
Yep.
That'll be the planned date of that show. So if you don't hear from us by the 11th, we'll do a send-off show.
Absolutely.
We will do a send-off show. But
and I know and we have a guest planned for the new year too, so I definitely want to get to that.
We do. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you for all the support. Enjoy your family and your loved ones, and make sure you really enjoy your time.
Definitely. Tomorrow's not a guarantee, so be happy, enjoy it. Everybody be healthy.
Don't fight with your family on Christmas.
Right. Just be healthy and happy and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's all for me. Take us home, buddy.
All right. For GMAC, this is Winnie. This has been the Outlaw Blitz podcast. And as always, take it deep.